afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining me here on Zoom, and also those of you watching live on Facebook, or maybe you're watching this on YouTube. So wherever you're tuning in from, thank you for joining us today. My name is Amanda Delaney, and I am the founder of We Can and We Will Talk. It is an authentic network for sharing stories. I believe that our stories is what connects us. And today I was inspired by watching and reading Trina Cleary's posts on her Facebook and on her Instagram. I had the privilege of meeting her just shortly before COVID-19 and hearing a little bit about her story and feeling very inspired. So as lockdown and social isolation kicked in, I seen her then in a video about life, my life matters with the Cancer Society. And then again yesterday, she came into my attention because she had done a post about the importance of staying home. So without further ado, I am going to hand you over to Trina, and she can tell us a little bit about herself. So Trina, if you want to tell people where you're from, your age, your background, and we'll get into your story. So over to you, honey.
I'm Trina, obviously. Hello. I'm from Wexford. I'm 35. I have a 13-year-old son who's in the bedroom. I'm trying to keep him out here now. But when I was 33, I found a lump in my breast. Completely ignored it for about 6 months. Over those 6 months, it grew until I couldn't ignore it anymore. And just about a week after my 34th birthday, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. The reason I kind of ignored it was because I felt I was too young, I was too healthy, so I ate relatively well, didn't drink a whole lot of alcohol. I was in the gym maybe 4, 5, 6 days a week, thought I was too fit, this wasn't going to happen to me, cancer is an old person's disease anyway, that's what people think. So yeah, I was kind of kicking myself that I left it go so long. So everything moved quite quickly after I got diagnosed. Obviously the day that I got diagnosed it was like it was happening to somebody else. It was like watching a film of somebody else's life, or like I was just looking down on myself. It was the most horrendous thing I've ever had to hear, really. That goes without saying. But yeah, after that it moved quite quickly. About 3 weeks after that I started chemotherapy. That went on till March 2019. Then in April I had my first surgery, so my surgeon saw fit that I have a lumpectomy, that they thought chemo had done a good job and that a lumpectomy would suffice, and that they could conserve my breast. So the results came back and that surgery was unsuccessful. So I was given the choice of another lumpectomy, which would leave me very disfigured, or just a mastectomy. And that was the hardest decision for me, even though when I first got diagnosed, I kind of said, right, just take it off, get rid of it. And then when they were so positive that they, chemo had kind of done its work, I was like, okay, and I kind of accepted that, okay, well, I'm going to be normal looking again. So then to be given this, this choice put in front of me, instead of someone telling me what I had to do, I had to make this myself. So it was quite hard to decide. It took me about a week, a lot of crying, a lot of sleepless nights. And I had a crying phone call chat with my dad and made my mind up. And once I said it out loud, then I was just so at peace, and I decided to go for the mastectomy, and I didn't want reconstruction, so I'm flat on one side. And I remember so well, my surgery was in June, and I remember actually coming to after the operation, and I actually put in one of my blogs, I smiled underneath my oxygen mask because I knew I'd made the right decision. Oh, I'm getting emotional now. So yeah, I had to recover from that, and it was tough, like the recovery side of it, because the first time I kind of saw myself with, I kind of tight enough top on, I thought, oh my God, I look horrific, I've got no hair, got no eyelashes, I now have only got one breast, who's ever going to want me? I was single at the time, who's ever going to want someone like me, like the girl who had cancer, who now only has one breast, almost like half a woman. But I quickly flipped that mindset, and I kind of said, well, this is the hand I've been dealt. If I wasn't strong enough to take it, I wouldn't have been given it. So I can sit here and cry about it, or I can just move forward and own it and just own what I have. And that's exactly what I've done. So yeah, I've kind of just been spreading awareness and just body positivity and body confidence, and just
tell us a little bit more about that, because I know I'm following you on Instagram, but not everybody here, they're just probably meeting you for the first time. So tell us a little bit about this, you know, because I know you're full of confidence and you're spreading a lot of inspiration. So tell us a little bit about your posts and your blog. So, you know, what do you talk about in there, or what are you putting out to the world? What's your way? What's Trina's way of encouraging people?
Yeah, so when I first got diagnosed, I said I'd start blogging my journey. So I discovered quite quickly that I can write quite well, nearly better than I can speak. And I have this ability of just transporting people into that moment that I'm in. So I started a blog on WordPress, and I basically just detailed every part of my journey in there, starting from the day I was diagnosed, exactly all the thoughts I went through, right the way up to, you know, surgery and everything that I've been through. So the WordPress blog is like a lot of detail, and my Instagram is more kind of almost like a dear diary, like, you know, day-to-day life through cancer, and now on the other side of it, life after cancer, you know, trying to return to my new normal or whatever that is now. And the ups and downs, and you know, 90% of the time they're good posts, and then there's 10% like everybody else. I have bad days and I'm like, oh my god, was that me? Do you know, is it back? Do you know, worries, fears, that I discovered that if I was feeling something or thinking something or fearing something and I posted it online publicly, I had like an influx of messages from people being like, oh my god, I thought I was weird, I thought it was just me, like I didn't think that anyone else would feel like this. So I suppose I kind of feel like I'm a voice for people that can't go public or speak publicly or as freely as what I can.
Oh, fantastic. And do you know what? That's why I set up We Can and We Will Talk, because I believe we're more alike than different, and stories connect us human beings like no other. But I know you put up your images of your body. So tell us a little bit more about your body confidence posts.
Yeah, so after all my treatment finished in September last year, me, my mom, my dad, and my sister went away on holiday, just to recharge. You know, it was a tough year on them as well as me. So we went to Puerto Rico, our favorite place in the world, and I said, right, it was October, it was coming into October, so I was like, right, I want to do something for Breast Cancer Awareness Month to shock people, to give them the shock factor, so that they'll maybe go, oh wow, like look how young she is and look what she has been through, that can happen to me. So my poor father like was sitting there, and we were on the beach, and I went out, got into the water, took my top off, and my sister took a picture of me with, you know, obviously covering my modesty but bearing my scars for everybody to see, because it's something that I'm really proud of and I wear with pride. It's my badge of honor, like. So that was the turning point for me, was to post that, and the response was insane. Like, people were so supportive. I was so scared that people would be like, oh my god, what are you doing, like that's offensive, or like reporting me or whatever, but nobody ever said anything bad about it. So that was a turning point for me, and like that, the shock factor, and that's why I do it. Like, that's why I post images of my scar or whatever, just to shock people, so that they'll sit up and pay attention and go, oh, maybe I do need to actually check myself, you know.
Absolutely, and well done, because that, as you said, shock for your father, you know, big. It's not something people do every day, and it's not something that everybody has the courage to do. So I salute you for having the courage to be the voice and the images for a lot of people. I'm sure you've got some messages. So what does that look like and feel like? I'm sure people message you all the time with gratitude, or, you know.
It's so lovely, like, to have people message, because like, I always used to be the kind of person I'd be like, oh, what will they think? What will they say? You know, worrying about other people's opinions. And just speaking to Shar Keegan, she said something to me the first day I met her, and it was, other people's opinions don't concern you. You know, that kind of way. And that just always stuck with me. They don't concern me. People are, like I said earlier, going to have an opinion on you, whether you're doing something good or whether you're doing something bad. But the messages that I get in from people are just so lovely, and some of them even just are just messaging to say hello and how are you. You know, it's nice just to get asked how are you as well. So just that connection, like, I've so many Insta friends, as I call them, like, because we just connect with people on a whole other level that have been through something like this as well.
Fabulous. Well done, honey. So I'm going to take you back a little bit in this, because the purpose of us doing this today is because I want to hit on 2 points. And one is this immune system. And I have Sinead Dee here on the line as well. And I'm going to ask Sinead to come in now in a few minutes. And when I read your post yesterday, it really hit home the amount of people who believe that if this is not going to happen to me, I'm fit, I'm healthy, I eat well, or I exercise, or whatever the case may be. And we always think this is going to land in someone else's house or in someone else's body, not in mine. You know, and you're very young, and I can understand that, but I think it's an ignorance that we have, and understandably so as well, because as I've said last week in a conversation with Sinead, and it brought home, we cannot see our immune system. We cannot see it. It's invisible to us. Nobody knows what's going on inside of our bodies. So I'm going to ask Sinead, who's a Chinese herbalist, and she was a nurse. She's got knowledge and experience like I don't know anybody else who has this much knowledge and experience. So I'm going to ask Sinead just to share a couple of things that maybe we could look for signs for to know, you know, how do we know if we've got an immune system? Is it possible to know? And a couple of things that we can do right now. And I know she's been talking a lot about food. So what is in our control? So Sinead, I'm going to unmute you there so you can join us here. So you're unmuted, Sinead. So what is in our control, honey, for our immune system? What can we be doing right now? Not that we might know, you know, we're making a difference, but at least we can feel like we're in control.
Okay. Well, I think probably most of us actually know what we should be doing. And Trina, it is Trina, right?
Yeah.
Trina was doing, that's probably why you've done, not probably why, it's why you have done so well, you know, because you came into this and you were fit, you were eating healthily. And so it's, you know, anybody can get sick. I mean, the only way that we can measure this is if you go, you know, randomly, sometimes it can be found if you have bloods done in a doctor and there's a difference in your white cells or your red cells or something. So it can be seen that way. I think ultimately that most people know when there's something wrong with them because you feel something feels different and we just ignore it. And it's kind of like, oh, I'll be grand, I'll just get on with it. So I think that our bodies do have signs. So I think it's really important to have self-awareness, even in how you're thinking, because if there is a problem with your immune system, your thinking will change as well. I'm not going to go into that in any detail, but it does affect how we think. It can make us like fatigue, something like that. So you might be a bit more tired more than usual. But so the things that we can do, so you want to get enough sleep, really, really important. Exercise every single day. You know, don't eat a ton of rubbish. I mean, any kind of you know, like fast food or sugary foods or processed foods puts stress on the body, and that causes inflammation. And inflammation is a sign that there's a problem with your immune system. Okay. So what you want to do is just to keep everything in balance, keep everything calm, and yes, have the odd treat, but it's when the odd treat starts becoming much more regular, you know, and you start, you know, we start ignoring what we know we're doing, basically. I think often, I suppose what I don't want to say to people, often I work in ARC once a week, which is a cancer support centre. I do acupuncture with people. It's just supporting people who are having their treatment. And what that does is it reduces down inflammation, and it just helps people's manage people's stress and anxiety, which everybody has anyway. But most people, especially young people that come in, you know, they've been living a relatively speaking healthy lifestyle. None of us knows. I suppose what I'm saying is, you know, this is not anybody's fault. Stuff happens, you know. I think if you start thinking this is my fault, this is something I've done, just forget that thought. If you get a diagnosis, if there's an issue with your immune system, whether it's cancer or something else, you think, okay, I have this, I have to deal with it, and which is exactly what Trina did. And that is the best favor you can do your immune system, because you've got to be in the right frame of mind. You start from where you're at. You don't think about what you've done before, what's coming ahead. You think, what can I do today? Because there's so much you can do. Obviously, managing stress levels is really, really important. And then when you're given a diagnosis, that just ups that ante. So it's all about just rebalancing that and finding things that you can do that will help you do that. It could be talking to your friends. Sometimes it's very difficult for people to talk to their own families because we try to protect them. But it's really important that we don't keep this inside, because that's also going to impact on our immune system. If you get stressed, you produce cortisol, and then this releases sugar into your bloodstream. This is very simplified, okay? And that puts stress on your body. And this is, I suppose, what you're trying to avoid all the time. So it sounds like it's big major work. It's not. It's just you introduce things every single day that you know that are good for you, that will make an enormous difference to your immune system.
So I'm just thinking for people right now, lockdown, stress, everything else. Okay. So even for right now, so, you know, leaving cancer aside, so I'm talking about immune system for right now is to keep your stress levels down, stay away from sugar, drink the water, exercise, and this can all help.
Oh, absolutely.
The immune system balanced right now, because it you know, we don't know.
Oh, absolutely. But your immune system is, you know, it's attached to every single organ in your body. You know, you have to look after your overall health. That's how you look after your immune system.
Brilliant. But, you know, I'm gonna leave it there, Sinead. That is perfect way to end it. Look after your overall health, and in turn, then you're looking after your immune system.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So thank you, Sinead, for that.
You're welcome. And
Sinead, how can people get in touch with you, hon?
So I'm Sinead Dee on the Pulse, because I do pulse diagnosis as part of my Chinese medicine diagnosis. I'm on Facebook. That's probably the easiest way, actually, to get in touch with me. I have a website as well, but Facebook is probably the fastest.
Brilliant. Thank you, Sinead.
Thanks, Amanda.
Now, so Trina, come back to you now. So, okay, so we've had Sinead on there and saying, and would you agree with all that, keeping the stress levels down?
Yeah, as hard as it can be, like, but just manage your stress, maybe taking 5 or 10 minutes away and just meditating, or just being, you know, breathing and, you know, stuff like that, like, just to try and manage the stress. But we're all stressed out. It's just the world we live in, isn't it?
Yeah. So this brings us nicely into the second part of our message today. And I know this is important to you and it's important to me. And that is the social isolation. You know, you put up a post yesterday and you bared it all again with your hair. So talk to me about what it's like when you have already done self-isolation, I'm presuming, when you're going through treatments that you need to keep your, you know, away from people.
Yeah.
So yesterday's post, talk to me about people moaning about their hair, not being able to stay away. What triggered yesterday's post for you?
I think it's just seeing all the people that are planning on coming down to Wexford for the long weekend or whatever. Wexford is one of the lowest confirmed cases in the country, and people are on about coming down here just for the sake of a long weekend when they can't do anything anyway because everything is closed. And it just really, it kind of made me angry, because I'm here, I haven't seen my nephews in over 2 weeks. We can't go to my nanny's because she's 82. We can see her through the window or whatever. My mom and dad, like, I see my mom because she works in the local shop, or if I just happen to take a chance and spin down there to see him standing outside. So like, I didn't see my child for 12 days because he was at his dad's when we went into lockdown. I missed his 13th birthday. So it just really made me angry that people are being so selfish and so careless. Like, they might not care about their health, but have the respect for the rest of us that are doing the right thing, and staying in, and you're coming down and dragging potentially the virus into the shops that we have to go to after your bank holiday weekend is gone. But for me as well, like, the isolation, it kind of brings back, like you say, memories from when I was going through chemo and stuff, and I did spend a lot of time indoors, because I could only get out after my, I think, 10th day after my chemo, when my immune system would be on the turn again, like, and I'd be starting to get stronger. So it reminds me quite a lot of being sick again, even though I'm not sick. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to put it out there and be a bit more blunt about it. And the reason for the image was, again, the shock factor. Like, that, I hate that picture of me, because I can remember exactly how I felt at that moment when that picture was taken, and I was in so much pain. I was so distraught, and I was just devastated. Like, so I just wanted to put that up for, I suppose you could say, dramatic effect, to make people kind of sit up and pay attention. You know, I didn't have a choice in that illness that I had, whereas these people that are leaving their houses from Dublin or up the country or wherever they're coming from, they have a choice every day that they leave their house. They're making that choice of whether or not they get the illness or whether they're giving it to somebody else. So, like, I've gone through an illness. I don't want to have to go through another one, or risk my child going through it, or even giving it to my nan or whatever, you know, I don't want to be that person that makes somebody else sick. So why would anybody else want to inflict that on somebody?
It comes back to, again, that invisibility, does it? It doesn't it? If it was out there and we could all see this virus, we'd be all avoiding it like the plague. We'd be like, no, 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 no. But just because we can't see it. And the other thing that got me thinking was, and this really annoyed me, was we're all very quick to point the finger at teenagers last week or the week before when they weren't social distance and they were hanging out in groups, right? Now, we know teenagers, they think they're invincible, they're young, they don't have the wisdom that us older people should have, okay? And the other thing that people point the finger at was, and I probably get lynched for this, but I don't care, it's the underprivileged areas, you know, where, oh, who's controlling them? Where's their parents? And where everybody's very quick on social media and in the papers to fire the finger and the blame there. But here we're talking about a different scenario. I can feel my blood pressure rising. We're talking about working class people who have extras, like their second home. Like, these people are intelligent. They should have wisdom. And yet I get an email this morning from a business owner in Wexford who has closed her business to protect her community, rightly so, obeying what the government are telling us. Like, most business owners now have closed down unless you're serving the front line. And here, coming up the streets of Wexford, is streamlines of cars with Dublin registrations. Now, I know we're picking on Dublin, but I'm just going on the facts of what I've been told here.
Yeah.
This drives me insane. These people should know better. What happens then if the infection then, as you said, you've got a low rate down in Wexford and it increases? How did the government or the health organisation track it? If people are still continuing to travel outside of that 2K, and this is the message today, you know, we need to stop and think and act like we already have this illness ourselves.
Yeah, definitely.
Have you anything you want to add to that? I was fuming. I was like, you know, people were saying this, but are people really that genuinely naive to think that it's not going to affect them? And a bit like yourself with the cancer, when it hit home, it was like, whoa, I really thought I was going to be invincible to this at my age, my health, everything.
Yeah, like your health is your wealth. Like, and like I said in my post, the more people that stay in, the quicker we can get out. Like, and the people that are going out are giving us people a jail sentence indefinitely, because we won't go out. Like, we're using our brains and we're staying in, like, for the sake of 4 days. And the bank holiday is no different to any other day as far as I'm concerned in these, you know, circumstances, because you can't go to the pub, you can't go to the beach, you can't go anywhere. So, you know, stay at home. It'll be over quicker if you just stay at home. I'm getting really frustrated now just thinking about it. Like,
yeah, the holiday homes will still be there.
Yeah,
they're not going anywhere. You can clean them in a couple of months' time. You can, you know, paint your deck and you can do whatever. But just for now, think of us. And I love the video you did. My life matters. So I think we'll end the recording on this. Every single life across the globe matters, and every single one of us can do our part. We're all frontliners when it comes to staying at home. You know, it could be worse. Like, I can think of a lot of worse things to be doing than asked just to stay at home.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, so we're going to leave it there. Hopefully this message will get out and people will start to realize that it's not okay. It is not okay to leave your home and leave the 2K perimeter. That is not okay. It's not okay with me. It's not okay with Trina, and it's not okay with everybody else who you may come into contact and affect. It's just not okay. I can feel myself getting upset. So we're going to wrap it up there. Trina, how can people get in touch with you? What's the best way for people to get in touch with you if they want to connect with you?
Probably on my Instagram. So it's TRI_Cleary on Instagram, or Facebook is the same as well.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you so much. So I'm just going to say goodbye to everybody on Facebook. I know we've had a few people following us there, and we're going to stop the recording. So thank you very much, Trina, for your courage, your bravery, and thank you, Sinead Dee, as well, for also coming in and highlighting the immune system for us. I really believe that we could talk about this for another couple of hours, But we're going to leave it there, and let's hope that our two messages today is, one, we are not invincible as human beings. We cannot see the immune system, but we can control certain things that we're doing to help ourselves. And number two is stay home. Let us save lives by staying home and obeying what the government have asked us to do, and we all get out of this a lot quicker. So thank you.